Well, welcome, Brick fans. This is episode 60 of The Brick Show. And we got to talk a little fast because we want to get to the close-up because we have a big one here. This is one of the LEGO exclusives set of 2010, released here in June of 2010. It is called the Shuttle Adventure, and it is killer. It is set 10213, 1,204 pieces, ages 16 and up. Comes with the two books right here. One of them is 79 pages, the other is 70 pages. One is pretty much all the shuttle work. The other one is a little bit more of the shuttle work, and the remaining is your launch pad, your lights, and your rocket boosters. 3 minifigs. We get a female minifigure astronaut, a male minifigure astronaut, and then we get a grounds crewman along with his little vehicle. So, that is your, well, price. Retail price, $99.99. Very good price, very good value on this. We are very, very happy with that. Comes to 8.3 cents. You know, senses. No, 8.3 cents per piece. And the space orbiter is just bad to the bone, okay? This guy right here, this big red piece, which we call the external tank, which contains the, it's the heaviest part of the real space shuttle, not this, the real space shuttle. It's the heaviest part, contains all the liquid hydrogen, all the liquid oxygen, all of the electronic components. It is kind of the brain of the launch. And then we have our rocket boosters, we have our main shuttle space orbiter, and LEGO released this specifically because this is the last year of the space shuttle. They are retiring it. November is the last launch, and after that, it's done. So they wanted to commemorate that, and that is why they did this. And it says Adventure on the side. The Space Shuttle Adventure was actually never launched. It was never a real space shuttle, although it did exist as a replica. It's a life-size replica in the Space Center in Houston, and you can go in there and you can kind of walk around it. I believe if it's still around, if it's still active, you can go there and do that. And so that is the name of this one, so I'm assuming that's the connection there. And so we don't waste any time. We get to all of the features of the set. Let's go ahead right now and zoom in and check it all out. There's our minifigs, and you'll see just how big the shuttle is there in comparison to the minifigures. And this is the male astronaut. This is the female astronaut. They both have suits that have the same markings, and then we get the gold shades or shield on the helmet there. So very cool little outfit. And then here's our third minifig. He is just a crewman that has a beard there. And here's his little cart. That's kind of the logo. And then this little piece right here is actually his video camera that he will fit into his hand and that he can film with. So here's quickly a look down the nose. And you'll see our little minifigures way down there. Now I'm going to lift it off our pad here and give you a look of how this is built. It's really quite impressive how such a heavy thing is held up by so little. There's just not a whole lot of pieces there, but it's absolutely enough to make it stable and stand upright without any issues at all. And here's our shuttle, kind of on horizontally, and I'm going to detach it. We'll detach this pretty easily there. So here's a little more detail on these, on our rocket fuels, and these pieces, you know, these are very common pieces in LEGO. That's what's used, that's what's put on the side here and makes everything connect together. And we're not going to do it now, but these white rocket boosters also detach. And then here is our shuttle, and this little button right here, you push that and your front wheel comes out, and then here's your back wheels. You push down on each side. This one's already down, and you'll see then we can easily see how this moves around real nice.
And before we open it up, just to give you a look at the back, some nice detail here on these engines. And these move around a little bit. Nice wing action there. These connect there. So these will actually move in and out on both sides. And the bottom is pretty basic. Got the 3 tires. That's where a lot of the work is when you're building it. So let's go ahead now. Let's open this up. And so these open up, and this little arm piece comes out, and this is where our satellite, or our, I believe this is called a satellite. This piece will come out and will attach very easily to this arm here and kind of hang out like so. And this is, so that's essential for communication to the Earthland. And now I'm going to take that off so that you can see the detail in here. And this all, again, as you saw, does all fit right back in, and those will close up. So that's nice. And it's pretty basic in there. There's not a whole lot going on. You do have some detail here in the head where the astronauts will actually go. You have a little computer in there, some screens. You can probably see it a little bit better this way. And then your astronauts will both fit in there and sit down. The one fits in there nice. This other one, because of something that is attached to the ground, they won't really both sit in there and connect stud-wise to the bottom, but you can, they do stay in there good enough for you to get the top of this piece back on if you want to put them in there and then set them up as it's on its launch pad. So there you go on the Space Shuttle Adventure, and this is where you see the word adventure as we spoke on earlier. So there's a few stickers, some American flags, that kind of thing, some small accents. So there's that. And be sure to go to brickshow.com to see some more detailed photos of this.
Alright, so there is that. What a good time. On to our ratings. But first, my final thoughts. It's fantastic. And here's the best part, is you're building it. You build the rocket boosters, which are really easy. You're just stacking things up on each other. So these long pieces go very quickly. This one definitely took a little bit longer, especially the top here. It's a little bit sensitive. And as we're putting it all together, it falls apart a few times. But we finally do get it. We get it all done, and then we get this guy done, which definitely takes the longest, but it's got a lot of neat features, as you saw. And it was cool. But then we put it all together. We build the launch pad here. We put the lights in. We get all of the rocket boosters and the shuttle nailed together. And then once you stand it up and you kind of take a step back, you're like, wow, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty darn cool. And at that point I say, you know what? Adults, we're going with a 10. Older kids, also a 10. Because it's a no-brainer. This guy is kind of a must-have. I think for Christmas of 2010, you got to get this, okay? Because the $99 price point is a great price point for Christmas. You get a lot. 8.3 cents per piece just tells you how much value there is here. And of course the historical value. You want to hang on to this one because it's going to be one that they talk about for quite a while. Hey, do you have the final space shuttle? And you're going to be like, yes, I do. Here it is. So, awesome, awesome stuff. And then younger kids, we normally give zeros for these exclusive large sets, but not this time. We're going to go 6. And here's why. Because I think for the younger kids, there's some educational value. Educational value. They won't be able to put it together. They won't be able to really play with the rocket boosters, but the space shuttle part is bad to the bone cool. And so that they can play with. It's pretty sturdy, and they'll learn, and it's kind of a piece that if they're into space stuff, you know, they got the Buzz Lightyear stuff maybe, and then they have this, because, you know, space stuff. And they put it up on a shelf, and it's there and it's cool, and all the friends go, wow, that's awesome. And maybe at that time they don't play with it so that they keep it together. But as they get older, I think they will appreciate having this, and then they move into the older age, and then, of course, it's a 10 at that point. So that's why I'm going to give it a 6 for the younger kids. And yes, we flipped it all. We're so crazy. Woo! Make sure you go to brickshow.com, check out episode 60, because we did something different this episode. We took detailed photos of this. So you have multiple photos, close-ups of this shuttle at brickshow.com, episode 60. And we've also included an additional video that Lego did where one of their designers talks about it, shows you their features and why they did it and all that. So don't miss that. Should go there right now. Check out a little bit more of the extra information we've got at Brick.